corner, I find you there. Oh, sweet patchwork of our days, stitched together in so many ways.
Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Today is the 1st of August. Is it just me, or is this whole year just flying by so fast? Today we're doing, what is it, part 8? Part 8 of the Butterfly Pixel Quilts. Hold on one second. I'm just pulling up the video and making sure we're moving along. We are. And not to be confused with the bottom of the papers for this week that say week 12, or sorry, week 13 and week 14. Have I completely confused everybody with the weeks being different than the parts of the videos? Hi, everybody. It's great to see everybody in the chat. I hope you're having a fantastic week. Going into the weekend, what are your plans? What are you doing this weekend? Concord grapes. They're finally ripe. Well, I say finally ripe. Yesterday we picked, I didn't measure them out, half a tub of Concord grapes. And I put them in the fridge because I think tomorrow maybe the other half will be completely ripe and I can process Concord grapes one time. That's my hope. Hi, everybody. Homemade Concord grape jam. Doesn't that sound delicious? I can hardly wait. It's been one of the things I've wanted to do since we moved in here. Hi, everybody. It's winter in South Africa. Isn't that just so like mind-blowing that here it is mid-on summer and some of you it's winter. For me, it's 3:30 in the afternoon, but for many, it is totally different times of the day. That always blows my mind. Hi, everybody. Today, what's really funny is that we've done some really beautiful blocks on this quilt with multiple colors in one block, right? Like blues, blacks, and greens with pops of yellow. And some blocks are just so colorful. And then we get to week number 13 and it's all greens. And I'm like, this is going to be boring. How boring is this? Before we begin, I just want to do a little shout out. Hopefully I sound okay because last week's video was so hard to listen to. And I had a comment that I appreciated so very much that said it was really hard to, listen. It sounded like water moving in the background. I'm hoping that I fixed it. Catherine says, I so enjoy Concord grape juice. Me too. Laurel's going to work in her flower garden. That's awesome. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, I hope my sound is so much better. Today I'm a little scatterbrained, y'all. I've been working on the embroidery machine, doing some fun projects. My mind is a little scattered. I wanted to give a quick shout out because I have had so much fun with this quilt. And I've said many times, let me pull this in and get ready for today. I want to do another pixel quilt. Maybe another butterfly and another color, but I really want to do something different. And many people have said, yes, they're so much fun. Sister Chicks. Diet Sister Chicks is doing a Christmas themed, it's not really calling it a pixel quilt, but it's along the same lines as this butterfly pixel quilt. If you want to check it out, I've put a link to her video showing her Christmas tree quilt that she's doing just about the same process with. So if you're finishing up the butterfly, we have this week and next week, and then we're done with it. If you want to make a Christmas tree one, you ought to go check her out. There's a link for her video down in the description box. I think that video she's working on the pattern. I don't know if she's finished it, but check it out. Mary Jo says, some of the best jam I ever made was Concord grape. I'm so excited. One reason was that I finally chopped the skins and added that, which gave it a bolder flavor. Good to know, because I've been like for a week now watching these grapes get ready. I'm like, do I include the skins or no? Do I make just juice and make a jelly, or do I make it into a jam and incorporate the skins? What do I do? I don't know, because I've never done Concord grape jelly before. Marla says, if I put borders on, will I need to use interfacing on the borders because of the weight will be a lot different from the panel? You know what, Marla? It's probably not a bad idea to just go ahead and do it so that it's all the same. The entire quilt top would be the same, including the borders. Do you know what I'm saying? It's probably not a bad idea. Go ahead and add some interfacing to it so it's not any different. Debbie made it on time. Darlene's on panel 9. You have caught up, Darlene. You're catching up. Catherine's on block number 7. Kelly has seen Sister Chick's Christmas quilt, and it's lovely. Isn't it, Kelly? I loved it. Jam is way better than jelly. Good to know. All right, I'm going to put the skins in there. All right, I'm going to pull y'all down here. Y'all, we've done this process. Y'all know what to do by now. We're coming to the close to the end of this video, right? Y'all know what to do. But I just thought, you know, I hate to just pop in and say hi and say, okay, that's it, bye, see y'all next week. So we'll hang out as I glue lots of green squares this week, which just seems so boring to me. Like, I like the squares that have lots of colors. And just to let you know, I've seen lots of butterfly pixel quilt pictures over on Creative Crew. And I meant to do a show and tell post this week, but this week just got by me, y'all. So look for a post from me on the Creative Crew sometime coming up. And next week we'll do a little show and tell. Hi, Steffi. Concord grapes have the little seeds in the middle, right? So how do you get the seeds out but still include the skins? I guess that's my conundrum. That's my conundrum. All right. Let's pull you down to my desk. Here are this week's blocks, right? You got the boring green one. I'm just playing. It's all fun. But compared to other blocks, it's all green. And then more color in week 14, right? These are my favorite kind of blocks. They have multiple different colors in them. You strain them, but how do you strain the grapes and separate the seeds from the skins? Maybe I'm overthinking it. I don't know. All right, but we're going to do the all green blocks, and I just brought over one box of fabric squares. It's possible, y'all, I'm overthinking the Concord grape jelly jam situation. Let me add some pins to this grid. Yeah, we went out after work yesterday and picked, I don't know how big this tub is. It's a pretty good sized tub. And I'd say it's halfway full, but I don't want them to sit in the refrigerator too long. Tomorrow we'll pick more, and then whatever I have, I have. You know what I'm saying? I don't want those grapes that I already picked just sitting around for days waiting. Trying to do this without poking my fingers. There we go. Glue. What do the numbers in the purple mean next to the names? That's something YouTube started doing, and actually I think YouTube started doing that to other channels before it started on mine. But I think it's just something to get people engaged during the live. Do you know what I'm saying? Would a cherry pitter take out the seeds in the grapes? That's a good question, Joyce. Where would I get one of those things at? Mary Jo said, you would need a food mill. I have one of those. It's like a colander. I have one of those. It smashes the pulp and leaves the seeds. But the skins will go through the little holes. Is that right? All right, fabric squares. I am so scatterbrained today, y'all. It is cloudy. It looks like it's going to thunderstorm any minute. So hopefully we don't lose power or internet. The good thing is, why am I wavy? There we go. The good thing is you know what to do. So if I lose you, I'll see you next week. You can use a tomato strainer for canning to separate the seeds and the skins. Tomato strainer. Is that different than a food mill? The mill. All right. Where can I put this? Unfortunately, this is going to be off to the side where you can't really see it. I'll scoot this over here a little bit. There we go. You can kind of see the fabrics a little bit. Let me get my little tweezers because I really feel like that helps my nubby fingers try to reach in those little slots right there. Let's take a look at this. We have some dark. Actually, you know what? I take it back. I bet you if I looked at this on the computer screen, I would consider that black. So maybe it's not an all green week like I just said. That, I bet you, falls right in line with the bottom shadow part of the butterfly. So you know what? I'm going to do those black, which I did not bring over. Okay, so let's start with let's start with the lightest and go to the darkest. How about that? Let's do that. But you can do what you want to do. Yeah, y'all send me a picture. Yeah, I'll Google it too, because the skins won't go through. Just squeeze the inside of the skins and grind the skins separately. That's a lot of grapes just to be popping out of their skins. Maybe I'll just do some skins. I don't know. I think my computer screen is touching the wall where the AC is on. So if you see it doing this, it's because the AC is kicking on and off. Sorry. All right, light green. I'm calling this a light green. The little pops right down here. Let's do that light green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip 1, 1, 2, 3. We had so much fun during the quilt retreat on Patreon last weekend. We sure did. Light green. I'm going to call this light green today. My definition of light green changes from week to week. Anyway, I caught up and all of my butterfly quilt is assembled up until this point, the very last row. And that's what we're starting today, is the very last row. And it is so pretty. Let's do this as a light green. And one more of these. I don't know. You know, I just said my definition of light green changes from block to block, you know. But somehow it has all worked. And when I look at this quilt, it looks so dang cool. Ah, Chrissy said, yeah, she used black in that area right there. Okay. All right, I was right. So today I'm going to skip that part because I didn't bring over my box with the black fabrics in it. And yeah, I definitely want to do that. So I was wrong, y'all. It's not all green. All right, let's go with this next shade up. All right, so a little bit darker. And that's here. I'm also trying not to pounce on my table because of the microphone. Mimsy said, I'll have to share my process with y'all. As soon as I figure out what the process is, I will share it. If the jelly turns out good, right? 1, 2, whoopsies. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. I thought I messed up for a second. Not that anyone would know once this is all together. Who's gonna know? 1, 2, 1, 1. All right. We're going a little bit darker this time. A little bit darker. A little bit darker. Let's bring in a couple of these. Oh, my progress with the quilt, not my process with the jelly. Yo, I'm a cornball. Okay, I'll share as soon as I'm done gluing all these green squares in place. I have the quilt sitting next to me, and I will share. I will hold it up for you. I did post a picture of it on my Lisa Capen Quilts Facebook page. But it's easy to miss that stuff, you know what I'm saying? I'm just sort of spreading. I'm using this fabric in multiple places. And where'd you come from? Oh, I just put it in the wrong little compartment. There we go. Let's use some of these. And just a couple more. I have no idea what we're going to do when this quilt is done, y'all. I have no clue. Maybe just hang out a couple Fridays. All right, let's see. That was those. We have this big patch. It's the same as that, and a couple up there. Let's do that next. So, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. Is that all of those? I think so. All right, what's a good color for that? What's a good one for that? Let's pull in some of these. And I'm just spreading them out. And I might have to end up putting some of these same fabrics side by side, which I'm okay with. You go there. You go there. And you can go there. Just to let you know, when I'm doing the blocks off the camera and I'm by myself, I say the same things. You go there. Now, that was crooked. That was really crooked. Let's just straighten him out. Yeah, we had a really big thunderstorm come through last night. There was a lots of lightning. And then let me pull these. Just kind of along the same color, but they're slightly different fabrics. You can go there. You can go there. And there. And there. You know what? I'm going to just do side by sides. Like that. And that. And let me squish them all down in the glue. Mary Jo got 2.5 inches of rain in about 1.5 hours yesterday. That's a lot. in a short amount of time. All right, they're squished. Let's see what we got next. Do y'all see there's 1, 2, and then a row of this different green, and then 2 little splotches of green. Y'all see that? Let's do that one next. One goes there. One goes there. And then diagonal. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then over 2 and diagonal like that. That's a different green. Let's see what I have here. I have this little green Christmas fabric. Let's use that. And I'm going to use the same fabric throughout the whole thing. I might like that choice. I might regret that choice. Who knows? Now, one thing is I cut these squares a little bit bigger than all the other ones. They're sort of overlapping. Yeah, I would tell you what, this whole week, I have felt so just off. Have you ever felt just off? I think, well, what I'm chalking it up to, y'all, is perimenopausal brain. I don't know how to describe it. Besides my head just cloudy. Not a headache, right? Just cloudy. Hard time being able to focus and to concentrate for no good reason, right? I'm not sick anymore. Just a hard time getting motivated, concentrating. It's funny. All right. And then after that, we have this one little weird green square down here. What am I going to use for that? You know what? It's kind of the same tone as that right there. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to carry that same green Christmassy fabric right down there too. Like that. I'm hearing all kinds of weird noises outside. Oh, that's because someone's outside. It's like I keep hearing something. Somebody's out there. Okay. You know what? This, and this, and this are different than the ones next to them. But they're kind of the same tones, aren't they? Same with these right there. They're the same tone as that. Let's do those. I might end up repeating the same fabrics that are next to them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And then we come down here. 1, 2, 3, diagonal. Do I have anything that's close to that tone, but different? No. Hmm. So, you know what? Let's repeat. I'm okay with that. Like this. If Dolly sees them outside, she's going to start barking, just to let you know. And I hear her coming in here. Prepare your ears. Nothing to see here, girl. Nothing to see. See her behind me? That's actually her boyfriend that's out there. If she sees him, she will be so excited. She knows what his truck looks like, sounds like. I got glue on that one. All right, let's squishy those down. Like so. I don't know how I thought that this was boring. That's pretty. Hi, everybody coming in. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Stacy says brain fog. Yep, that's exactly what I have this whole week. Okay. What do we have left? Darker greens. We're going into some darker greens here. And you know what? I think I'm going to fill in, even though these are different than those, I think I'm going to fill in the rest of all of this with a darker green. What's that right there? That's not dark. Let's fill this weird little green square in there. Hold on one second. I'm gonna fill this one square in that I missed down here because it's just random. I'm gonna fill in the rest, and I'm gonna do random dark greens in there, except for these up in this corner. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. What is that supposed to be? Dark green. 1, 2, and then 1, 1. So all the rest of these will be dark greens right in through here. 1, 2, 3. So let me pull out some dark greens. It'll be a big issue if I use different types of fabric. So, Miss Karina, the issues that I think you may run into, and let me just tell you, all of these fabrics are different. Different manufacturers, different ages. I have some vintage fabrics mixed in my color boxes, and they're super thin. This one is one of them. It is super, super thin. Like, I don't know if you can see my finger through there in this light, but when I hold this up to the light, I can see through this fabric pretty easily. But it's just so pretty. I love it. And it's super old. And then I have some brand new fabric in here. It's never even been washed. That you cannot see through it. You know what I'm saying? One of the things that might cause is some of your seams might be thicker than others. And in areas where you have thicker fabrics, and then other parts of your seam that don't include those thicker fabrics. You know what I mean? But is it possible to use them all together? Yes, because that's what I'm doing, right? It's possible. It's just know that some seam allowances, like, last week we were talking, and some blocks turn out different sizes than others. And we were talking about possible reasons why that might be. That's one of them. Having different thicknesses of fabrics next to each other. Now I want to save that dark for right up here. There we go. This is an old fabric and it's super thin. Let's see, what is this one? I call this my watermelon fabric. I don't think it's supposed to be watermelon, but it surely reminds me of watermelon. A watermelon rind. All right, you go back there. Let's see, I already used that one. Wow, I cut a whole bunch of that fabric. In you go. Can you remind me of when you press? Do you sew all your horizontal seams? My blocks are better after following your suggestions, but still a little off. Can you remind me when you press? Okay, so what I do is let's say like right now I'm gluing all my squares down. I'm going to let this completely dry, right? Before I remove it off my grid. And then I'm going to trim away this extra little bit of interfacing on all four sides. Just use a ruler, match it up right to the edge of my fabric squares, and just trim it off. And then I'm going to sew all my seams going in one direction all the way. I'm not going to press after doing that. I'm going to sew all these seams going that way. I'm not pressing. I'm clipping the intersections of those seams. And then I'm sewing the next way, right? All the seams going in this direction. Nesting the seams as I'm sewing along. I don't want that fabric. And that's when I press my seams. And that's what I'm doing. There we go. I'm saving those for black fabrics, which are across the room. So I'm going to leave that little corner blank. And here's my greens for block number 13. Darlene says, I posted a photo of the food mill on Creative Crew. Thank you. I have a food mill and it has a couple of different, like the little grater thing, plate, with the holes in it. You can swap them out. I have one that's really, really tiny. And then like 2 or 3 more with the holes bigger. But I'm like, with the bigger holes, would the grape seeds fit through those holes? I want to let the skins go through the holes, but not the seeds. All right, there's my greens, and we're going to let that dry. This concludes our broadcast. You think you might be pressing too much and distorting my block? I think that might be a possibility. I could see that happening. I could see that is possible to do. Do you know what I'm saying? Stretching them out the more you mess with them. I just want to tell y'all, as you admire the greens on this screen, we were hanging out on Patreon this past weekend. And we had Daniel there for the first time, and he showed the back of, we were talking about pressing seams, right, for this quilt. He showed the back of his butterfly quilt, and if you ever want to see something impressive, that would be the back of Daniel's butterfly pixel quilt. He has pressed all his seams open, and they are perfect. And do you know what really gets me, Daniel? He's only been quilting a year. I was like, what? You've only been quilting a year, and all your seams are perfectly pressed open on the back side of this butterfly pixel quilt. Do you know what that means? That means I am lazy. I am lazy. Oh, good. The suggestions last week helped a lot. I'm so glad. The food meal that I posted is for tomatoes and grapes and is rudimentary. Rudimentary? I'm going to have to check it out as soon as we're done. But you know what? I'm going to have to use what I have no matter what, because these grapes are not going to wait till I can get something different. Do you know what I'm saying? But it might be good to look at for next year if it's different than the one I have. I'm going to show y'all my progress of this butterfly pixel quilt. Because here she is, with all my seams nested and pressed to the side. I'm going to hold it up. And I know you're not going to be able to see the whole thing, I'm pretty sure. But the blues just pop and glow on the screen. Isn't that so cool? I didn't realize I was wearing shorts today. And I just want to make a note. See this right there? And that. And these. See how they're polka dotted? Love that. Who was it? Was posting a picture of their quilt. I think it was Betty. And she was slightly regretting her decision to use the polka dotted fabric in her quilt. But I just want to tell you, Betty, I love it. I think it adds a little something to the background, and it is so pretty. Don't change them out. All right, so that's that. And we're not even going to look at the back of my quilt. Dawn says, I pressed my seams open, but they do not look like Daniel's. Darlene said, Daniel is a rock star. Let me just tell you, Daniel has done 2 Sunday Star quilts too. In a year's time, 2 Sunday Star quilts. He's doing the butterfly pixel quilt. I saw some other things up on his design wall. some smaller things, and who knows what else he's done. Highly impressive. We had a lot of fun, and just to let you know, next month, well, I say next month, today's the 1st of August. If you're on Patreon, you might want to set an alarm clock for 3 o'clock in the morning. Just saying. Have you heard from Hazel lately? It has been a couple weeks. It has been a few weeks since I heard from Hazel. Yes, 4 blocks across. And it's going to be 4 blocks down, so a total of 16 blocks. Then, week 14, we're using a few pops of red in there. Some blues, blacks, greens, and one little lonely little yellow square. So that's what you'll be doing for this block. I have one random chicken walking around out front. She's a loner, and I feel like I can relate to that chicken so much. She's just off by herself, and she's just living her best life. Do you know what I'm saying? And she's perfectly content. She does not like being in with the flock. Like, I think she's an outcast. But she just seems so happy. If you see me looking that way, it's because she keeps catching my eye. Yeah, it was a great weekend. It was awesome. What did I do? Oh, I worked on my butterfly pixel quilt Sunday afternoon. Sunday during the day, we did a workshop for a beautiful paper piece block. And then Saturday, I worked on those blocks, getting them ready for Sunday. I got a lot done. What was the biggest issues with the zippers on your Nana bags? So I will say, I just moved all my Nana bags. I had them stacked up right here. My presser foot, the shape of my presser foot. Let me draw it for you. My presser foot is kind of like a circle like this. And then it has this little part that juts out like this. Right? There's my presser foot. There's the hole in the middle of my presser foot. This part kept wanting, and so here's my zipper. Right? Here's my zipper going this way. And this was on it. What didn't do it on the front of the bag where there's 2 zippers because of the direction of the zippers, but on the back of the bag, that's where I would have to really watch, and I had to raise my presser foot height just a little bit because this part of the foot wanted to hit the zipper and nudge it. And so instead of my zipper being completely straight when I was done, it would be like this. Nudged on my first couple bags, and then I raised the foot and just really watched it, and now I can get straight zippers on the back of the bag. Hence, the Nana bag you make in the hoop uses the smaller zipper. I think it's a size 3 zipper. It's smaller, but I ordered, you should see the zippers hanging. It's actually kind of beautiful. The zipper tapes hanging in my colors. Do you know what I'm saying? They're just beautiful colors. But they're number 5 zippers where the teeth are more like let's just pretend this is a size 3 zipper and it's not as tall, right? I didn't realize that the gazillion, million, bajillion feet of zipper tape that I ordered were number 5 zippers. No, that's not right. Let's do it in another color. This is a number 3. And let's say this is a number 5. The teeth are wider. Do you know what I'm saying? Like this. But not only are they wider, they're taller. So if you were to look at them like this way, these would not be as high as these. So the one you make in the hoop uses a smaller tooth zipper to avoid this problem right here and here. But I'm also doing a paper pieced version, which I was supposed to do a video this week, and my brain wasn't working. The paper pieced version I set up to use a number 5 zipper because I really love the zipper tape that I bought. And it's a little bit of a heavier duty zipper, but I don't have to worry about this nudging this if I'm paper piecing that bag. Catherine, you're always so sweet. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's my my presser foot does that. Now, what's interesting, well, this is not an embroidery machine. My Juki, it's just a sewing machine, but it has a free motion foot, right? And the free motion foot is circle. And my Bernina embroidery machine, the embroidery foot is circle. So I don't think I'd have a problem doing a zipper like this with this foot. But this foot, this little part right here, wants to drag that zipper over. Only on the back side of the bag, though. Mimsy, I think if you don't have a foot like this on your embroidery machine, well, double check the stitching because the stitching is really close to the zipper teeth on the embroidery version. So if your teeth are wider, I don't know how close that stitching might be, like right on that zipper. That's because I digitized it for this zipper, not this zipper. Do you know what I'm saying? There's a difference in the widths of the teeth. Why not use a zipper foot? You can if you're sewing it on a regular sewing machine. But on an embroidery machine, are we talking about the same version? Because I have 2 versions. There's one that's sewn in the hoop, and the embroidery machine does all the work, right? Like the video I showed. But then I haven't shared the video yet because I haven't made it of the paper pieced version. And by all means, you could use a zipper foot for that, right? Thank you, Beverly. I thought you made a bag on a regular machine. I did, but I haven't done a video on it. And in that, I used a number 5 zipper tape. Yes. It gets confusing when you have 2 different versions. With the bag, it looks exactly the same when you're finished. And I love that. The quilting is, you do whatever kind of quilting you want to do on the different panels. But I can go grab the bags. Hold on a second. What did I do with them? When you asked what issues did I have with the zippers, I thought you were talking about the in the hoop version, not the paper piece version. Which one was paper pieced? This one. So this one, my quilting is straight lines. That's what I did on this one. And you can see that the zipper is taller. The teeth are taller and wider. I love these zippers though. These are metal zipper pulls. That's a much heavier duty zipper. And there's the back of that one. I haven't made a strap for this one yet. But then here is one in the hoop, and here's the little word zipper. That's the number 3. And this is the reason the backside for me, for my foot, that it had to be a number 3 zipper and not stick up as tall so my foot didn't catch it. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. What I'd really like to do is go live and do this bag, the paper pieced version, sometime this week. That's what I'd really like to do. Steffi says, I still have a piece of quilted fabric sandwich, and I hope I can use it for this version. I bet you could. Where did you get your zipper tape? I got it off of Amazon, and let me just tell you, I was not expecting how much zipper tape I got. I mean, I know what it said, how long the zippers were, but it's hard to imagine what that actually looks like in person. Do you know what I'm saying? And I have 1, 2, 3, 4 hanging hooks where the zipper tape is folded 4 times. Each one of them is folded 4 times, and they still touch the floor, but they're in earth tone colors, like a muted sage green, browns of different darknesses, like a golden rust color, a maroon, a dark teal. They're beautiful colors, and you get a whole bunch of metal zipper pulls, and you just cut the tape however big you need it to be, right? But I didn't realize it was a size 5, but I'm actually kind of glad it was, because I like the more heavier duty zipper. Do you know what I'm saying? It just zips much more smoothly than the first zippers that I ordered. Those were good too, but I don't know. I like these better. You want to see something? I'm stitching. I'm in the process of making a video right now. I better move these fabric squares before they're not dry. I don't want to dislodge them. Let me just set these up here. Y'all don't fall down. Something else really funny. I'm making a video, like I started yesterday, of this little wall quilt, the one behind me that says I could be meaner, right? I'm making a video for that. But I'm also doing these quilts where they say different things. because this quilt lends perfect space for that. There's a panel that I just finished like 10 minutes before the video started today. But look. I'm taking my favorite t-shirt sayings and putting them in these little panels because it's the perfect space to sub out. Like, this is what the pattern's going to come with. I could be meaner. But instead of doing that, you could do all kinds of stuff in that space, right? I'm going to hang this on the refrigerator. Don't you think that that's so funny? That is so funny. And the one I'm working on right now, I saw this t-shirt and I think that that would be hilarious on a little quilt. Did you do the video for the little crossbed body bag? I did, Darlene. Darlene, do you have an embroidery machine? Because the video that I did, we made it in the hoop on the embroidery machine. But I'm also doing a foundation paper pieced version on a regular sewing machine sometime this week. Isn't that funny? And then I'm doing one that says Matthews, Virginia. And then I'm doing one that says Gone Fishing. And Gone will be embroidered. It's an embroidery font, right? But the fishing part will be applique. And that'll be super cute too, right? But yeah, so these are stitched in 3 hoopings. Like, that's a panel, that's a panel, and that's a panel in a 5x7 hoop. And they go by pretty fast. Actually, this took the longest. Stitching out the words on this takes longer than actually making the 3 different panels. Yep, but the video I did, so that's the quilt. But you know what I did in the video? Just to show you, because like people see these little letters and they're like, heck no, I do not want to stitch down these little letters. I know. I stitched that down in the embroidery hoop, right? That's digitized. And the stitching is perfect and I don't have to fuss with it. But on a sewing machine, you know what I did with this? Because it's just going to be a little quilt that hangs. I didn't even stitch down the entire edge of the letter. I just did a meandering over that panel and called it a day. And because I used a fusible heat and bond light, the letter is stuck there, and then the quilting has stitched it down. If you washed this, yeah, the edges are going to fray and lift up wherever it's not stitched. But being a little wall quilt, how often are you going to wash it? Do you know what I'm saying? So, anyway, I've had a lot of fun with that. And this week, you know what I've done? I've given my patterns a new look, refreshed them. They look like my junk journal pages. Kind of excited for y'all to see them. Anyway, if you're on Patreon, the free project for August is this foundation paper pieced version, right? That. And so that's why I'm working on the video for it. What was I going to say? Oh, but yeah, I can't wait for you to see the front page of my patterns have a new look. And it's kind of just fits my personality so much because I love journaling. I love a bullet journal. I love junk journals. It just reflects my personality so much more. And so if you get one of my patterns in the future, it'll look like I'm sharing my journal with you. Isn't that so cool? I'm so surprised Dolly has not picked up the fact that her boyfriend is right out the door. And I don't know what they're doing over there, but they're making a lot of noise. I'm surprised she hasn't heard them. Anyway, so that's what my evening is going to look like. I'm stitching out the rest of these. Because I think that they would be cute in my studio tour. Don't you think so? Be patient with me. I'm from the 1900s. That is so funny. I'm trying to think of anything else I could share with y'all. I think that's it. Keep an eye out for a post from me on Creative Crew. I'm going to pin it to the top of the page. And if you want to share your butterfly pixel quilt progress, no matter where you are, even if you're just starting and you've only done one block, we'd love to see it. And so we'll do a show and tell next week. And then next week, we're doing the last 2 blocks. And then the week after, we'll come and do another show and tell. And some of y'all are keeping up. Like, you're faster than I am. As soon as I put those blocks out, you're on it. Yeah, Mimsy says she's giving him the cold shoulder. I don't blame her. Because he dissed her a couple of days ago, driving down the road. He didn't even slow down and look at her, nothing. And she was devastated. So she might, like, be over him. She's probably over him. All right, everybody. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. The weather's bad. Stay inside. I'll keep you updated on my grape situation. I'm going to go check out the food mill picture. And yeah, I'll figure out how I'm going to process these grapes. Either way, I think whether it's a jelly or a jam, it's going to taste delicious. Don't you think so? Like homemade Concord grape jelly. I've waited 2 years for this. I also have 3 pumpkins I got a can. They were volunteers, and they performed the best in the garden, and we didn't even plant these things. They just grew from last year. So it's going to be a busy week coming up, but keep an eye out for me. If you get a notification like on a Wednesday night and you're like, Lisa's live? Yeah, we're going to do a paper piece bag at some point. Okay? I hope y'all have a fantastic week. See you next week, okay? Bye, everybody. I was trying to figure out how to get out of here.
In the quiet of the evening light, with needles dancing, stitching him tight, each patch a story, every thread unbinding love and fabric where we belong. Every stitch a whispered prayer, in every corner I find